We're back with the Shoot Your Shot Scorecast, college football edition, week 11. We're sponsored by TickPick. I want to go to a game. There's a lot of cool games going on. We have college basketball. We have college football. It's almost like an equinox, but not really. But check out TickPick down below. No service fees. And you get to check out your favorite event, whether it's a concert, Broadway, sporting event, what have you. Check out TickPick. We're in contention. I think you and I are like neck and neck with these records. You had a really good week last week, I think, and it's crazy.
As a show, all of us are above 500. You and I are both, on fire. Honestly, like you look at it, and I'll brag on us here a little bit. You look at a lot of podcasts, a lot of shows, a lot of people who do picks. You see very few shows that have anybody this much over 500. I mean, all of our picks are documented. You can go back and look at all of them, but you and I are both on fire, made quite a bit of money on our college picks this year. So records as of end of last week, you are 79-58, more than 20 games above 500. Furious George is 70-68, making money above 500. And I am 79-60, almost 20 games above 500. Last week you went 8-5. I went 10-3, and Furious George went 5-8, but it's still above 500. Really good week. And just want to pat us on the back a little bit. Really good season for us in college football. So.
I'm having the best year ever in college football, and I feel like I see the board so clear.
Yeah, like every week. NFL is really tough. It's been like that for me normally. Like NFL, I struggle with a little bit. At least I feel less confident in my picks. College this year, I just feel like I know more than normal what each team is before the public does. So again, pat myself on the back a little bit. Like teams like Bama and teams like that. Like I feel like I have sniffed out frauds early, and that I've been on good teams early and kind of gotten a few wins in a row with some teams before the public starts to catch on. So
yeah, and we're picking like the letdowns too at the right spots, which is wild. Because like usually I wouldn't see them, like the whole like Tennessee game, like and the whole like Bama losing, like that's wild. Like
letdowns and bounce backs. Like as bad as LSU looked early in the season, so they had that drive down the field and they missed the extra point against Florida State. They get blown out by Tennessee. Like we were pretty quickly back on them on some other games where the public was fading them, but we were on the right side of some of their bounce back games. So I mean, again, the whole show we won't just be talking about how good we've been, but I do think it's worth acknowledging how well we've done as a show. And so if you listen to the show, please recommend us, bet along with us, tweet at us. I think we've earned a little bit of respect from the
at least
listeners.
For college football. I don't know about NFL,
but for sure. That's a different topic.
Different breed. And it's weird, just real quick about NFL. Like I feel like I know more about NFL because there's less teams to like worry about. There's so many college teams. Like now there's like action and all that. So it's like I don't know how I'm keeping up. I guess I'm a pure vibes guy. So I'm literally feeling the vibes of like how everyone not even like I'm not doing research per se, but I just feel it's mostly vibes, and I could feel if it's gonna like be bad or not, or it's gonna be a letdown. You can see it like in the lines almost too. Which is
if
weird.
It works, it works. Yeah, whatever works. Also to the NFL, it's so sharp as far as like the numbers are right on. So many people bet the NFL games. College, I think you actually have an opportunity to kind of get some good lines that maybe aren't as accurate, or you can kind of take advantage of the book a little bit in some cases. The NFL is just tough because there's so much that goes into those picks, and it's usually they know what they're doing. So but we're seeing the board well, and we're going to keep it up this week. So let's jump into it. What's our first pick? Also, side note, Furious George is out this week. I say this on the NFL show, but you'll be hearing this one first. Furious George and his wife just had their third child, doing well. Everybody's healthy. So he's out this week. He should be back at our next one. He did give his picks, so we'll be reading those. But congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Furious.
Miss George.
Mr. and Mrs. George. Yeah. Which is
like I said in the last show, he's 9 away from Nick Cannon's record. So
getting close.
Keep going. Keep pumping them out. All right. First game, we only have 4 games we're going to talk about, then talk about our cards. So we
Yep.
have the early game, Notre Dame at Navy. Notre Dame is favored by 16.5. Over under is 41. I have some stats. The over is 5-0 in the Irish last 5 games after accumulating less than 170 passing yards in the previous game. And then the Irish are 10-2 against the spread in the last 12 games, following a straight up win. I do like Notre Dame here by 16.5. I don't think it's going to be a letdown. They've been on the up and up lately. So since they beat Clemson, that was pretty cool. I think they might have their swagger back. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame.
Yeah, Furious George is with you. Notre Dame minus 16.5. I struggled on this one. My concern is, and we talked about this a little bit, identifying letdown spots. Notre Dame looked great last week. They destroyed Clemson, which I'm very thankful for. I was rooting for Notre Dame in that game, even as a Michigan fan. My concern here isn't that they lose the game. They're clearly the better team and they're going to win. I just worry about an emotional letdown spot. And I think they still cover if I had to take a side, but I think they could cover in a low scoring game. Defense travels. Their defense is still going to play up. I think I see Navy scoring less than 10 points, probably less than 7 points. So I'm going to take the under 41. I think Notre Dame kind of just cruises here to an easy win. They just came off a big win, maybe a little bit of a look ahead to teams like USC at the end of the year. So I could see kind of a lazy, low scoring game. Both teams like to run the ball. So under 41.
Nice. And a stat for that, the under is 5-0 in the midshipmen's last 5 non-conference games.
And the trends for the over for Notre Dame, I know, are there, but I think Navy trends to the under. Notre Dame, even though they normally trend over, coming off of a big win, it could kind of be a low energy kind of game, just comfortable win.
So. Definitely, yeah. I do have something on my calendar, like I don't even know when the Army Navy game, December 10th, bet the under. So I'm ready for that. Yeah. It's like a guaranteed win. So
yeah,
I'm putting my calendar for like every year.
It's going to be like 28.5 and it's still going to be under. Yeah, every year.
Yeah. Next game we have Nebraska at Michigan. Michigan is favored by 29.5. Over under 49. I was actually really scared of this game just because I don't like big spreads. Call me a pussy. I don't care. But I like money and I'm scared. But whatever. I didn't take a side just because I was afraid that there could be a backdoor cover. So I took the over 49 and I'm locking it because I feel like Michigan can score a lot. And then let's see. Do I have any over stats here? I don't. But obviously Michigan is 5-0 against the spread the last 5 games in November. So they're missing November. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Furious George is on Nebraska plus 29.5. What an idiot. That's why he's not 20 games above 500. So we're not even going to talk about his pick. Because I'm on Michigan minus 29.5. So to defend him a little bit, and to your point, big spreads like this aren't a great way to be making money. The reason I'm taking Michigan minus 29.5 is because, for a couple reasons, the game against Rutgers last week, they looked really good in the second half, but the first half they've struggled. If you go back to the past few weeks, they were beating Indiana by 3 at halftime. They were beating Michigan State by 6 at halftime. They were losing to Rutgers at halftime last week. So the first half trends for Michigan have been terrible. I think this is a get right spot for them. I think they need to come out and have a good first half. They need to put a complete game together from start to finish, not only because the team has struggled with that, but I think there's maybe a little bit of a look ahead to the college football playoff. And I don't think if you lose to Ohio State, you're still going to make the playoff. But if you're Michigan, you want to come out and blow out every team you play, so that maybe you can kind of pass the eye test a little bit and get some more credit by the college football ranking. So for those 2 reasons, I'm going to say Michigan to play a complete game and to blow out Nebraska. I also like Michigan minus 15 first half line. So that's not an official pick, just a bonus pick for you because of that, because they've looked so bad in the first halves. I think there's a good chance they come out quick and try to make a statement early. So
Nice. I was gonna say too. Oh wait, Panthers just scored a touchdown. Shit, that's not
19-9. Yeah.
that's not good for my parlay. But yeah, that sucks. I was gonna say for your first half bet, I was gonna do the opposite. I was gonna do plus 15 just because they've not been looking good in the first half.
Yeah, which is fair. That's how it's been. So I'm going against the trends, thinking that Michigan is a good enough team that they get right this week. But you're right. Like if you're going off of the past few games, definitely you take them. And a lot of people I've seen have been taking them to not cover in the first half specifically. So.
Definitely. And then I did put a future on Michigan winning the Natty. So yes. I'm rooting for it. I just don't want to like get screwed for this game, but I need them to basically win by a lot. But yeah, I would love that.
It's all going to come down to a couple of weeks from now, Thanksgiving weekend, Michigan, Ohio State. It's basically going to be the first playoff game because loser of that game, in my opinion's out of the playoff.
Loser leaves town.
And you're probably going to see the number 2 and number 3 teams in the country both undefeated unless something crazy happens. So yeah, we'll see.
Crazy. All right, next game we have Washington at Oregon. Oregon is favored by 13.5. So over/under is huge, 17.5. Is Oregon in Washington? Is it like a state game?
Right? It's in Oregon. No,
Oregon and Washington are 2 different states, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I got it. I knew.
I felt like they're in the same state, but they weren't. Never mind. But yeah,
same region. Yeah,
same region. Yeah, I always get those confused. Whatever. But yeah. So for this game, I like Oregon by 2 touchdowns. Basically, the Ducks, Bo Nix, Oregon, right? Yep. Bo Nix a lot. So the over is 7-0 in the last 7 games for the Ducks on field turf, which is crazy, but just a huge over. But I could see it being a shootout because Washington could score too. And the Ducks are 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games. The Ducks are doing great. I know the one game I did bet them, they did lose, and I was like down on Bo Nix, but Bo Nix is back. So I'm taking Oregon.
It's interesting how terrible they looked against Georgia to start the year. Everybody kind of wrote them off, me included. I'm on Oregon minus 13.5. Furious George is also Oregon minus 13.5. I also like the over here. My official pick is the Ducks against the spread, but like you said, it's a crazy number. I just think Washington is a really bad team, but what they are able to do is score points. If you look back at their last several games against really bad teams, they gave up 39 points to Arizona. They gave up 45 points to Arizona State, both 3-6 teams. They gave up 40 points to UCLA, who is a good team, but Oregon has the ability to put up a ton of points. Bo Nix plays really well at home. And like I said about Michigan, I think this is a team that knows they're on that playoff bubble if they have a loss and wants to put up a ton of points to kind of make a case for themselves over teams like Tennessee, maybe a 1-loss USC. And so I don't think it matters, frankly. I don't think I see a path for Oregon to get into the playoff, but that's what the team has in mind. And I think they know they need to come out and win games big. So give me Oregon, big number. And this is also a good spot, 13.5. You're underneath a key number there. So I thought about locking this. I really like Oregon minus 13.5.
Nice. And then last game, we're going to talk about TCU at Texas. Is it Texas? Favored? Cool.
Yeah, Texas is favored by 7.
Texas is favored by 7, over under 65. I couldn't pick a side. I was talking about this before the show, but the horn dogs, not dogs, horn frogs.
The horn dogs.
Horny dogs, whatever. I don't know why I thought that. Anyways. That'd
be a better name, actually.
Yeah, I know. They should be the horn dogs. They'd be great. But
the Texas
they're
horn
undefeated.
Dogs. They are.
They Woody horn dogs. Yeah, bonk. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, they're undefeated, and everyone's waiting for the letdown spot for them to actually not go undefeated. But I feel like Texas is better per se. They're at home. I didn't want to take a side just in case I was wrong if I took the over 65 because Texas and TCU can put up points.
Yeah, Texas has kind of been a little bit under the radar, but a really good team. Like ever since they lost to Alabama, but Quinn Ewers was out of that game. I think if he doesn't get hurt, they beat Alabama, and everybody has a different perception of them. I think Texas is the better team. TCU, it's a tricky looking spot because they're ranked number 4 in the college football playoff, and they're 7-point underdogs. I think the committee though is begging you to take TCU because this is the spot where TCU goes and dies. I think this is where Cinderella, the carriage turns back into a pumpkin, the clock strikes midnight. It's been a good story. I really like Max Duggan. I really like TCU. I think they go here and get blown out by Texas. And the committee gets their perfect wish and dream then of being able to put Tennessee back into the playoff picture. So yeah, I just think this is a really bad spot for them. They've been playing with fire all year. They've been down in the fourth quarter of like their last 4 games and come back to win. I just think it catches up to them this week.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy slate again. I feel like I look forward to Saturdays more than Sundays because these games
Yeah.
have been like intense.
Oh
And
yeah.
like NFL hasn't been that intense lately, but yeah.
Last week was like one of the greatest. Like basically, to me, every week there's like 5 or 6 college football weekends that are better than the best NFL weekend. NFL playoffs are great weekends a lot of times, but like wild card weekend, but regular season, yeah, nothing beats college football games. Every game just means so much. Basically, TCU, Texas is a playoff game for TCU. We already talked about Michigan, Ohio State. So for a lot of these teams, it's, one loss ends your season. So yeah, huge games.
Definitely. All right, let's go through our cards real quick. I got Oklahoma -8 against West Virginia. Tennessee -20.5 over Missouri. I've got Arkansas +3 against LSU. I have Oklahoma State +1.5 over Iowa State. Ole Miss +12 against Bama. I think Bama's dead. I don't think they're in the playoffs anymore, so it's probably going to tank now. Probably there's no point anymore. Kansas +3.5 over Texas Tech. Kansas State Kansas State +2.5 over Baylor, and then over 48.5 for Texas A&M and Auburn.
All right, Oklahoma, West Virginia. Furious Georgia skipping that game. I'm on Oklahoma -8. Missouri at Tennessee. We are both on Tennessee -20.5, and that is my lock. LSU, Arkansas. We're both joining you. Razorbacks +3. Wisconsin, Iowa. Furious George is taking Iowa +1.5, and I am on over 35. I think both offenses have looked better these past few weeks. Iowa State at Oklahoma State. He is on 48.5. He's taking the over. I'm skipping that game. Bama, Ole Miss. Furious George is taking Alabama -12, and I am on under 63.5. Kansas, Texas Tech. Furious George is taking Kansas +3.5. I'm on under 64. Kansas State at Baylor. Furious George. Kansas State +2.5, and I agree with him. Kansas State +2.5. Texas A&M, Auburn. Furious George is taking the under 48.5. I'm taking Texas A&M +2, and I believe that's it. That's our cards.
The cards, yeah, I'm excited for this week. There's only 3 regular season games left for college football, which
I
is
know
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of sad how fast the season went. So
No, I know.
Season's going to be over very soon for Ohio State. And Michigan will have a few more games after that, but yeah, pretty quick end of the season.
Yeah. And then side notes, make sure you follow us on Twitter at SYSS Scorecast. We post all our picks. I guess we have some blogs and what have you, and we'll just post it on there, all our picks, all our thoughts about the games. You can follow us. Our handles are on there when we tag our picks. And also we have a bet line if you want to call into our show and put in like some opinion about a game. 833 bet SYSS. Leave a voicemail and we'll play on the show. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tag us in your picks too. Yeah. Take a screenshot, tag SYSS Scorecast. Let's have a week.
Yep. And then if you tell me, you'll be profitable. If you have been, or if you are, You'd be profitable. Tag me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're following either of us, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've made you a lot of money this year.
Except Furious George, but it's fine.
Yeah. If you follow Furious George, you made a little bit of money. So
yeah,
a little bit of a thank you. Not as joyful of a thank you, but a little bit of a thank you.
yeah.
But he's a father of 3 now. So
participation trophy. We got you.
Yeah. We have to show respect. Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.